Welcome to 100 Years of Advice. To all of you in the twilight of your lives, how was your day? When looking at your face in the mirror, did you perhaps discover the shadow of regret, etched deeper than the traces of time? They say you sleep less as you age, but the real reason we can't sleep isn't because we have leftover energy. It's because of the scenes from the past that play out like a movie on the ceiling when we lie down. Why did I make that choice back then? If only I had bought that land. If only I hadn't said those harsh words to that person. Events from 20 or 30 years ago resurface as vividly as yesterday, making us kick the blankets and beat our chests. We all faced countless crossroads in the maze called life, and each time we chose the path we believed was best. But looking back in old age, the paths not taken look better, and the path I walked seems like it was full of thorns, which is painful. If there is a snake called lingering attachment, coiling in your heart and spewing poison every night, I want to release that snake through this story today. Today, we will talk about a task you must do before you die. How to forgive your foolish younger self. If life is compared to hiking, regret is like a heavy rock in your backpack. When we were young, we were strong enough to run well, even with a few rocks. But now we are on an elderly hike with worn-out joints and shortness of breath. Yet, do you still intend to carry the heavy rocks of mistakes you picked up 30 or 40 years ago? With that heavy load, you can never enjoy the beautiful scenery of the rest of your life. Now is the time to open that backpack, take out the rocks one by one, and throw them off the cliff. The first rock to throw away is self-blame for irreversible mistakes. Failing in business and making family suffer, losing property by standing surety wrongfully, breaking a precious relationship because you couldn't hold back a moment of anger. Just thinking about it makes you want to hide in a mouse hole, and if you had a time machine, you would want to go back and stop yourself immediately. But everyone, does crying over a broken porcelain vase make it stick back together? Trying to gather spilt milk only dirties your hands. Money lost can be earned again, or if not, you can spend less. But losing the happiness you should feel today because of past mistakes is ruining your life twice. Do not abuse yourself saying, "I was crazy, I was a fool." You are not a god. You were just an ordinary human who couldn't foresee the future, so you didn't know that was the path to ruin at that time. Mistakes made out of ignorance are not sins. Just think of it as paying a high tuition fee for life. Wounds given by words also torment us. Immature words that drove a nail into parents' hearts. Venomous words spit out at a spouse in anger, cold discipline that hurt a child. You probably regret it enough to want to bite your tongue, wondering why you did that back then. If the other person has already passed away and you can't even apologize, the pain doubles. But remember, you were too immature at that time, and life was so hard that you had no room in your heart. It wasn't because you were evil, but because you were clumsy. You must also let go of lingering feelings for past relationships. It could be a first love, a separated spouse, or a friend you lost touch with. Would my life be different if I had held on to that person then? Yes, it would have been different, but no one knows if you would have been happier. The path not taken is a flower path only in fantasy. If you actually went there, there would have been mud and filth on that road too. All the connections that are by my side now or have passed by were teachers who gave me the lessons I needed at that time and left. The word that torments us the most is if. The only key to escaping this prison of if is to admit it coldly. Even if I went back, I would have made the same choice. Because the me back then did not have the wisdom I have now. The 30-year-old me simply made the best choice with 30-year-old eyes, and the 40-year-old me with 40-year-old desires. Do not deny the fierceness of the process just because the result was bad. You lived your best at that time. Recall your younger self. Do you not see a young, foolish, and timid young man standing without an umbrella in a stormy field? That pitiful young man who bluffed because he was scared of the world, grabbed any hand because he was lonely, and took unreasonable risks because he wanted to be recognized. Do not throw stones at that young man. Instead, hug him warmly and say this: you did it because you didn't know. You did it because it was hard. Still, thank you for surviving and making me who I am today. Wisdom is the sediment of experience. The reason we can judge now, I shouldn't have done that back then, is because we have accumulated wisdom through all kinds of storms. In other words, the wise me of now exists because of the stupid me of the past. Past mistakes were not stains on my life, but fertilizer that made me mature. Fragrant flowers cannot bloom without smelly fertilizer. Your wrinkles and scars are not shameful badges, but proof of survival from a fierce battle. Now, start the separation process in your mind. Do not identify the past me who made mistakes with the current me. He is a player who played the first half of my life, and the current me is a player playing the second half. Are you going to keep your head down throughout the second half just because you scored an own goal in the first half? Even if the second half player curses the mistakes made by the first half player, the game won't turn around. Just click your tongue once saying, "That guy was really foolish, and it's enough for me to score a make-up goal in the remaining time, or just enjoy playing the ball." Our lives were like small boats floating on the giant waves of the era. Sometimes the boat shook because I rowed wrongly, but often giant waves like economic crises, poverty of parents, and the misfortune of the times swept over me. Do not blame yourself for things that are not your fault. You are a great captain who brought the boat this far without sinking in those rough waves. Just because the boat is a bit broken and the sail is torn doesn't mean your voyage failed. Look at an old tree. The more knots and rougher bark it has, the more dignified and solid it looks. A tree grown smoothly is just a plant in a greenhouse and cannot become a giant tree. The knots of regret embedded in your life are the solid muscles that support you. Because of those wounds, you have become a deep adult who can empathize with the pain of others. Like floating a paper boat on a flowing river, let the past flow away. Open your tightly clenched fist. We have lived holding on to things that are nothing if we just let go, as if they were precious treasures. Forgiveness is not for others. It is 100% for yourself. To live, to find my sleep, to live the rest of my life smiling. I must forgive my ugly younger self. Tonight, perform a ritual of putting down that heavy backpack in your imagination. Open the backpack and take out the rock of regret, the rock of lingering attachment, and the rock of self-blame, and throw them far away. Can you feel your shoulders getting lighter? Now, keep only the light feather of memories and the delicious lunchbox of today in your backpack. Reach out your hand to yourself in the mirror and ask for a handshake of reconciliation. I'm sorry I hated you so much all this time. You worked hard. You suffered. This one sentence is enough. You who were busy pleasing and forgiving others all your life, weren't you too harsh on your most precious self? Now is the time for you to be on your own side. Drink a warm cup of tea and feel the peace of this moment. It is said that the past is a bounced check, the future is a promissory note, and only the present is cash. Crying at the bank counter with a bounced check, past, won't get you any money. Buying and drinking delicious tea with the cash, present in my hand right now, is a profitable deal. The sun rising tomorrow morning is not yesterday's sun. Every morning, a new 24 hours is given to us as a gift. Do not cover this precious gift with old wrapping paper, memories of the past, before even opening it. Of the remaining days of your life, today is the youngest day. These are days too precious and brilliant to spend in regret. Dear friends, please, from tonight, fall asleep within just 1 minute of laying your head on the pillow. The past has meaning as the past. You have lived well enough, and you are beautiful enough as you are now. The relaxed attitude to laugh off the foolishness of youth, that is the privilege of old age. This was 100 years of advice. Have a peaceful night.